Back with Cheryl Pounder and Bryan Hayes. Guys, Darren Dreger was on TSN 1050 talking about Mitch Marner today, and he said he thinks Brad Treliving would rather extend Marner than trade him. Bryan, what do you think of the possibility of Marner not only coming back to Toronto for his final season, but signing an extension as well?
I'm not at all surprised if that happens. I've been saying since day one, Gino, you can quote me on this. I will believe it when I see it, that this Maple Leafs team decides to make massive changes and core changes. So I would not be at all surprised. And I think Leaf fans should understand that that's probably what is going to happen here. They went back to the well with Nylander, went back to the well with Matthews, understandably so. Great players. Mitch Marner is a great player, but they are committed to this philosophy of paying an exorbitant amount of money for skilled forwards and locking them up and just going back to the well year in and year out. I've been saying it for years. Sure, Treliving is relatively new. He's been here for a year, and he very well could be thinking this way. But I definitely think Brendan Shanahan thinks that way. That's the way Shanahan's always operated, intoxicated by the idea of making the playoffs. And you will make the playoffs if you have Matthews and Nylander and Marner, and it's going to cost a boatload of money. I would think at least the Nylander deal, if not more. And Mitch Marner's a great player, but it's the same philosophy year in, year out, and they're going to continue to run into the same issues. They cannot balance this team out if they continue to go back to the well. But I would not be at all surprised. I don't think it's the right play. I think it's mandatory they make significant changes, but it doesn't matter what I think. It's the way the Leafs operate, and I would not be at all surprised if that's exactly what ends up happening.
Wow, that'd be something. Cheryl, what do you think? Marner obviously controls his own destiny. Final year of his deal with a full no move. How do you see the Leafs handling this?
Well, it's interesting because I am in complete agreement with Bryan on this one, but that no movement clause is significant, right? When you think about it, I mean, it's all in Marner's court right now in terms of, listen, you know the player that he is, but it's not like you're playing a poker hand here. Everyone knows what you have. And that's the biggest problem. Yeah, you know, you heard Dreg say, listen, this one has been negotiated in good faith, and that is certainly true. But he holds all the cards in this game right now because he certainly knows that there are teams that if they are looking at him, it could be pennies on the dollar, so to speak. So for Brad Treliving, you've got to look at this and say, listen, am I willing to give this guy away, and for what? Because at the end of the day, yeah, you know you're going to make the playoffs with him in a heavy Atlantic division. You know you'll get there. But I do believe that there needs to be significant change. So there's a big question mark for me here right now. I do think they have to look in a different direction. But because of this no movement clause, I will not be surprised at all if he's playing out most of the season, if not all of it.
So, Bryan, you think the Leafs are going to bring Mitch Marner back? My question is, should Leaf fans want to see that happen? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being Marner absolutely has to go, 1, Marner should stay and extend. What do you think Leaf fans should want if they want their team to succeed in the playoffs, not just the regular season?
I think it's a 9.5, Gino, because of what you said there at the end. Succeeding in the playoffs. We know what this team can do in the regular season. They've been together collectively, Marner, Matthews, Nylander, for 8 years. They're great in the regular season. It doesn't work in the playoffs. The jury is in. We know the answer here, and they all have the same disposition. They're all great players, but they're all skilled. None of them play like Sam Bennett. None of them play like Matthew Tkachuk. None of them play like Leon Draisaitl in terms of embracing contact and building up as the playoffs go on. I don't see how that changes moving forward, but if Marner comes back, the Leafs are hoping that that will happen, but I think Leaf fans are 9.5 in terms of wanting to move on from this core, probably starting with Mitch Marner.
Well, only 11 players are set to make more than Marner's $10.9 million next season. 3 are his teammates, Austin Matthews, Willie Nylander, and John Tavares.